These are the three that we're going to be going over. Obviously, planner, manager, senior manager, the difference there. And we're going to do a deep dive. So I'm not going to really go into it on this chart, but we're going to go right into planner. So how do you become a planner? I'm sure everyone here knows that. If you don't, then you will now. It's a simple $20 enrollment. That's all you need to do. Join the business. It's an annual renewal. There's no monthly fees. There's no requirements, all of that. I mean, this comp plan truly benefits the people who just want to be affiliates. So if they're getting started, this is a very generous affiliate program. If you guys have ever looked into other affiliate programs out there where it's Amazon affiliates or a lot of the other affiliate programs out there are going to pay a very small percentage. Very few would ever pay 10%. So getting 10% as an affiliate when you're getting started in a program like this, it's a really, really solid thing. And the one thing as we kind of go through this today, I want you guys to think, because there's a lot of companies out there, there's a lot of people right now that are moving in the industry that will be telling you things and focusing on things. One thing to really look at when we're going through these numbers today is we pay 90% out on the dollar. If you sell $100 worth of products, you're going to get 90% volume on that. So 90 in business points off of that, which is a huge deal. I know a lot of companies out there that are paying 50%, 60%. Some of them will pay 100% on your personal and then hide that they're only paying 50% on the team. So there's some really tricky things out there that you want to make sure you're asking the questions, looking, because this is it. This is 90% on the dollar. I've not seen a single company out there who does this on both your personal and your team. No one, I haven't seen a single one. So planner is pretty straightforward. When you get started here, you're going to get paid as a planner on your own customers and your first levels. And it's a 10% base commissions. Now, there is a Riman dollar program here. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And that really, for planner, it only goes into play on your personal orders. And how that would look is if you are placing a personal order, you're going to get a 5% cash rebate and a 5% Riman dollar rebate. Now, let's do a little bit of a deeper dive just so you understand what that looks like. So as a planner, you're paid 10% on all your customers. If you're out here, you don't ever even place an order, highly don't recommend that. But if that's the case, happens. You're sharing your link, you're getting paid commissions. It's going to be 10% on all customers. If you place a personal order, you're going to be paid a 10% rebate on that. 5% of that will be Riman dollars. You're also going to be paid 5% of any first levels personal orders. That is a planner. So when you're enrolling someone, again, even if you never did anything, you could get paid 5% commissions on what they do while they're a planner. So that's something that you really want to know. And again, just note here that this is only the first level. You're only getting this volume paid on the first level. One of the things we're going to talk about here is if you are coming in here with a network and you are someone who wants to build beneath your team and help them, which is great and fantastic. Some people are able to do that. Not everyone is, and it's no worries and no judgment either way. But just know you do want to, as they say on the airplane, right? You want to put on your face mask first. You want to get to senior manager, and senior manager before building out your team to those levels, if you are placing under them. So focus on your own commissions. Let's get you up to that 25. Let's get you up to that 35%. It is only first level volume that will count towards that for you. So a little bit of an example here. Like I said, I love examples. Let's say Mary comes in here. She has 500 in personal volume. Sarah is under her. She has 600 in volume. John has 700 in volume. She has a total of 1,800 in business points. Well, you're going to look at down here. Sarah's going to be paid $50, like Jen said, right? It's not like, oh, that's an amazing thing. However, it is amazing for affiliates. If affiliates are looking at this, that's a huge, huge, huge commissions mark. So 10% on her personal volume. She's going to get paid 5% on Sarah, 5% on John. If you look at these numbers here, it's $115. Pretty straightforward. Again, I'm very visual, so I hope that does help because I needed to see things to kind of understand it. Now, let's say Sarah enrolls someone, right? Sarah has Jill down here. Jill has 600 in volume. Are you going to get paid on Jill as a planner? You're not going to get paid as Jill when she's your second level when you're only a planner. So just so you know, if you see more volume in there and you're like, why am I not getting paid on that volume as a planner? You're only getting paid on your personal orders, your customers, your first levels, their personal orders and customers. So that's kind of the focus there. let's talk about the exciting stuff now, right? Planner is great and all, but we all want to get to manager. Manager is that building block of this comp plan. Truly, so many things unlock at manager. And one of the things that you will hear here time and time again, if you know how to get to manager, you will know how to get to national director, because all it is getting yourself to manager and helping your team do the same thing. That duplication process that happens, it really trickles down, and it's something that is absolutely incredible with how this comp plan is built, because truly it's all about duplication, right? Get to manager, help your team do the same thing. When you get 10 managers on your team, 3 of which are senior managers, we're going to talk more about that, you're going to be a team leader, and team leader unlocks massive commissions, which we'll talk about later. But it's just that focus. And the cool thing about manager as well right now is we get thrown into a focus group. As soon, I don't know if you guys know this yet, but as soon as you hit manager, we qualify for a focus group. It's every Monday night. It's with Larry and Taylor Thompson. And if you guys don't know who they are, in the 80s and 90s alone, they made over $100 million in direct sales in the 80s and 90s. These are people, and they've consistently stayed in the industry since. It's not like they stopped, right? It's not like they disappeared. One thing that I always will say is I want to learn from someone who is still attached, still doing things in the industry. They are these people. And honestly, I have seen people pay $30, $40, $50,000 to be a part of focus groups like this. So Jen's raising her hand over there. And I know so many people who have done the same thing. These are, I mean, this is a massive, massive training opportunity. You become like who you spend your time with. I don't know about you guys, but I want to spend my time with someone who's made over $100 million in the industry, right? If I'm spending time with them every single week, I know I'm going to be learning, I'm going to be gleaning, I'm going to be figuring out things from them that I wouldn't hear elsewhere. And regardless of that, the people that are hanging out in that group as well, guess what? I know they've at least hit manager. I know they're winning. I know that they're also going towards the next titles. So focusing on that is the place to be. So how do you become manager? Manager is 3,000 in volume. That can be accumulative over 3 months. So that does not have to be in month one, although we have many, many people doing this in month one. And I would say the faster you get to manager, the better. So if it is something where you're like, I'm going to be building this, I'm going to be building it fast, and you can afford to invest, you might as well buy 2 big hits, right? You might as well get there, because everything after that unlocks at 25% commissions. And that's solid. I mean, that's something that going forward, if you're getting customers, if you're getting team members, you're paid more on them. And how this comp plan works, just so you know, it's unlocked going forward. Once you hit a rank, it's not retroactive. It's actually unlocked going forward. So when you plug this in, hit manager, you're going to get paid 25% for life, even if you drop back down to $500 a month, even if you drop back down to $200 a month. But guess what? I would much rather get paid 25% off of $500 a month, like Jen mentioned, versus 10%, right? $50 versus 125. So it's something that you really want to get to as soon as possible. Get yourself in the room with people who are actually having success. Now, how this is qualified, it can come off personal orders. Like we said, you can get there with 2 kits if you wanted to. It can come with your personal customer orders. Again, it can come with your first level distributor orders. So if you're getting someone in here, if they get the big hit, that's going to count towards you, right? It's going to come from their customer orders as well. And then just note, only 50% can come from one leg. So you can't just have a one leg wonder. If someone comes in and they buy $3,000 worth of product and you have nothing yourself, well, you can count $1,500 towards your manager position, but you can't count all 3,000 of that towards your manager position. We want to make sure that you understand that, so you're not just like, I'm throwing everything under one leg and I'm going to get to manager with one leg, right? So let's talk about the commission release qualification. 3 active customers. Now, just so you guys do know, and to be straight up with you, this is not a requirement in the month that you hit it. However, it is a very good practice to do so, because you're going to be doing that every single month after. So I would still focus on getting those 3 customers anyways, but don't freak yourself out, stress out at the last minute and be like, I only have 2 customers this month if it's the first month you hit it. Every month after that, you do need the 3 active customers. So just to be very, very clear with that. Manager commission, you're going to get the 20% base, and then you're going to get 5% on your first level. And with the Riman dollar reward program, as long as you have 10 auto ship customers. Now, how that works right now, it's actually any active customers. The company is being really generous in how they're doing this. Any customer that places any order is counting as an active customer for you. And that's actually what this is currently. However, in the future, if you're watching this 3 months from now, it might be auto ship customers. Personal order rebate program, obviously you're going to get the 20% cash rebate or 20% rebate. 10 of that will be in cash, 10 of that will be in Riman dollars, and then additional 5% Riman dollars on your BP with the active customers. Let's do a deep dive because that's where it's at, right? Again, I'm visual. I hope you guys can understand, or hopefully the visuals will actually help you a little bit more. Again, pay 20% based on all customers, rebate of 20%. You're paid 10% on any first levels, personal orders, and customers who have not promoted to manager yet, and paid 5% on any first level personal orders and customers who have promoted to manager. So if they already are manager, right, you're going to get that 5% on them still. And then you're going to get the additional 5% paid out in Riman dollars for all of the above when you have 10 active customers this month or auto ship customers in the future. So again, note this is only paid on first levels for manager as well. And we'll kind of do some examples. So Amy, let's say Amy's here. Amy has 1,500 in personal volume. Maybe she bought it. Maybe she sold some of those amazing travel kits that just came out. And she has Jan here. Jan bought a kit, obviously, and she has Jack here with 700 in volume. So just to break that down, if you look at her PV, she's getting paid 25% on that. That would equal $375. She's getting paid 15% on Jan, 225, and 15% on Jack, 105. Some of that is paid in Riman dollars, just so you guys know, totaling $705 off of that example. So very, very straightforward. I hope that is helpful, and we'll do another example here. Wanted to add in a manager, so let's say pretty much the same thing there, but she also has a manager under her now. Awesome, right? She's building towards team leader. She's building towards the comp plan as it grows. And let's say Liz here has 2,000 in volume as a manager. She'll get paid 5% on Liz as well. So pretty straightforward as far as that goes. Let's go into senior manager. So senior manager, it gets even better, guys. This is a really, really great title. This is where you start unlocking payment deeper on your team. This is the first level that does that. And it's something that can be very, very significant. Just so you know, when I show you the models here, I tried to be very lowballing it. I did not want to like throw anyone out of the park with numbers that I have seen people get paid at senior manager, which is very, very significant numbers. So how do you become senior manager? It's 6,000 in BP over the previous 3 months or the most recent 3 months. Some people have gotten confused. They've thought, oh, that 3-month rolling period, it starts at 0 after 3 months. Not the case. It's always rolling, right? If you started in July, you have July, August, and September towards that. If you're in October and you still started in July, you're going to have August, September, October for that. You know, in November, you're going to have September, October, November. So it's always a rolling 3-month. It never will start back at 0, but wanted to make sure that that was understood. And again, we have people doing this in day 1. Day 2, it's not something that you're going to look at and be like, it's going to take me that long. It could, and that's totally okay. It's not everyone moves at their own pace. And that's one thing to look at in this industry. Don't ever judge yourself by what someone else is doing, because everyone has a different story. Everyone has a different, position that they come in at, and a different place, a different network, all of that. We all move at our own paces. And if you can focus just on your business and celebrate your wins, because every single small order is a win, you will notice that you will feel way better about your business, about your life. And it's not any of that. Did you see so-and-so got team leader in one day? How did they do that? They probably had a network, right? So don't hit yourself over the head. Just know that you can take this one step at a time. Like I said, don't look at the top of that mountain. Just take that next step. So this, again, it's counted off of your personal orders, your personal customer orders, your first level distributor orders, and their customers as well. So very, very simple. Again, like I said, if you're looking at this as a senior manager, as someone who is going for senior manager, and you're helping build a team, please be sure you get to senior manager before you really start doing a ton of stacking or anything like that, because we don't want you to lose out on money. We want you to be getting paid for what you're doing. So this, again, the release qualification is 3 active customers. If you did hit this the same month that you hit manager, the same thing goes for that. It is not required to have those 3 active customers. However, always good practice to do it. You don't want to be blindsided the following month and think, oh, I should have been paid this and I missed my 3 customers, right? So focus on the 3 customers. But if it is like, let's say you just started yesterday, you hit manager, you hit senior manager, just know you do not have to have those in the first month. However, if you hit manager last month and this is your first month hitting senior manager, you do need the 3 customers. Senior manager commission, it is paid on your first level. You're gonna get 25% base commission. And then this is where it gets really cool. You're gonna get an additional 5% team incentive on your entire senior manager group. Again, the Riman dollar program is the same. You're actually going to get a 25% back on your orders, and that's split in 2. So you'll see that 12.5% on cash and 12.5 in Riman dollars. And as far as that breakdown, I just kind of went over those 2. You're going to be paid 15% on any first levels personal orders and customers who has not promoted to manager or senior manager yet. So if you have someone, this is a comp plan that really rewards building people up, right? And that's what, when you look at a comp plan does drive the culture of a company. And the cool thing here is, even in the higher levels, you're always driving to help the people under you make more money. Once you get to those higher levels and you're getting check matches and things like that, guess what? You better believe I'm wanting Jen over here to make $150,000 a month, because I'm getting a percentage of that, you know? So you want to focus on helping your team, and that's a comp plan that is worth it for the long term. A lot of comp plans out there, they might have fast money up front, but it's driven in a culture that's just going to dwindle from there. And you're not going to have the support from upline leaders. You're not going to have that, because it doesn't do anything for them, really. It's like, let's get the money fast, and let's get out. And that's not what this comp plan is. This comp plan is built for long-term success. We're built to build your paycheck, help you get to those levels, and just continually increase that. There's no place in this comp plan where it ever makes sense for me not to help Jen make more money, if that makes sense to you guys. So we are paid 15%, like I said, on any first levels. It's going to be paid 10% on any first levels who have promoted to manager. So it's getting good here, right? I help someone get to manager. She's doing several thousand a month, and I'm getting paid a percentage on that, right? So then I will also get paid 5% on anyone who has promoted to senior manager as well. And then an additional 5% on your entire senior manager group. And just so you guys know how this works, is the senior manager group is everyone on your team who has not promoted to senior manager yet. So that's your group. If you think about it, like, I have everyone here, I have 20 people or whatever it is, no one's promoted to senior manager. That entire 20 people, it's my senior manager group. Let's say someone that's like 3 levels, 4 levels down for me, they promote to senior manager, that becomes their own group. Really goes in, because you guys need 3 senior managers to get to team leader. So it's still solid. We want to make sure that we're getting there as soon as possible. But let's look at the money. So Amy, here again, we're using the same people, because I made this at 1 a.m. this morning and I just got tired. I'm like, we're going to start using the same names here. So Amy has 1,500 in personal volume, 6,500 in total business points. And because she has no senior managers under her, that's all in her senior manager group. So let's say Jan here, Jan has 2,000 in personal volume. Jan's a Rockstar affiliate. She's recommending products to customers. She's doing great. Jack has 1,000 in personal volume. And Liz, who's hit manager, has 2,000 in personal volume. So kind of what that breakdown would look like is, you see how things increase here. Amy is now getting paid 30% on her personal volume. That's pretty significant. If you're getting paid 30% on 1,500 in sales, I mean, that's a very, very solid amount. I mean, any affiliate's going to be thrilled with that. And the cool thing is here, again, it's unlocked for life. Once you hit senior manager, it's unlocked for life, guys. It's a really big deal. Get there as soon as possible, because that is very, very significant. 20% on Jan, because Jan is not a manager or a senior manager. This is actually 20% on Jack. I forgot to change that. 20% on Jack as well. Not a manager or a senior manager. And then because Liz is the manager, 10% on Liz, right? So this right here, I mean, 6,500 in volume, which is not a lot. She's getting paid $1,575. That's very, very incredible. I've seen people come in here and get paid 7 times that as a senior manager, but I wanted to be very conservative with our numbers. And I want to show you guys another example here, just to show you how this builds. So again, before this level, you weren't getting paid anything on people under your first level. Now we added in their team, right? Jana sponsored someone, Jack has sponsored someone, Liz has sponsored someone. Everyone here, again, is still in the senior manager group. No one has promoted to senior manager. So if you look at this, she's making $2,000. She's making that additional 5% on her senior manager group. So all of that volume, she's getting paid 5%, additional 5% on, because no one is a senior manager yet. And that's kind of where you look at that. You're just wanting to help people get to that next level and build from there. And I did one more example here to show you really simply. Let's say Liz hit senior manager, right? And she has some volume here. Well, Amy is not going to get paid on M here because M is now in Liz's senior manager group for this title, only for this title alone. But of course, Amy is working towards team leader where she's going to get paid on that. And so if you look at this here, you see that Amy's senior manager group did drop to 7,500. She has 10,500 total in BP. And then, of course, she's still getting paid on Liz's personal volume. She's still getting paid on Jack. She's still getting paid on Jan. Very, very, very significant as a comp plan goes. And this just builds. Everything that I did here is smaller than numbers that we have seen on this team by a landslide. So just so you guys know. And then let's go into team leader. We're not going to go into a ton of team leader breakdown here, but we do want you guys to know the basics of this plan is really manager and senior manager. All you need to get to team leader, it's 3 separate senior manager legs. They cannot be, just so you guys know, they cannot be in the same leg. They can be, but they're not going to count for your qualifications if they are in the same leg. If they are, I mean, you needed 3 separate senior manager legs and 7 additional managers. Now, those 7 additional managers can come from anywhere. And 50% of your 10 that you're needed, they can come from one leg. So let's say someone has 5 managers on their team and they're a senior manager. All 5 of those would count towards your 10 that you need in total. And so just so you guys kind of understand how that works. Total group, there is a maximum 50% from one group, the same as manager and senior manager. You can't just have a one-hit wonder. Someone comes in and they do 100,000 in sales and you expect to get team leader off of all 100,000, right? You need to have that 25,000 outside of their leg. You need to have your other, like your other 2 senior managers. You need to have your other managers outside of that leg. And then going forward, it's not the first month, but after the first month, you do need a requirement of 10,000 in business points a month. And your customer release qualification does up to 5 customers, which you guys know these products are incredible. It's not hard to get 5 customers at all. It's not hard to get 10 customers, not hard to get 20. So it's just one of those things, just share it. Change your face, like Larry and Taylor say, change your face, change your finances, right? So this is where it gets massive. You get 45% commissions as a team leader. It's unlimited levels in team leader group, 40% based, 3 generation leadership check match, which is really significant. You can have someone 100 levels below you as that 3rd team leader generation down there that you're going to get paid on their commission. So this is where it gets very, 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 very big. And again, I know this is over some people's heads. We have people going for team leader. That's why we're sharing this briefly. We're not going to do a full breakdown because I don't want you guys focusing on that mountain, right? Focus on manager, focus on senior manager and duplication. That's all we want you guys to do. I don't want to confuse anyone here, but I did want to touch on this briefly so you can understand how massive this is. You will get, again, the same thing on personal orders. You're getting the 40% rebate, 20% of that is in Riman dollars and 20% is in cash, and the additional 5% in Riman dollars on your entire team, your team leader group, that is. So how this works, and I did not do a breakdown, I don't think, for this. Let me double check. Okay, I did do this breakdown, but basically the one thing that I wanted to share with you guys, let's say you have senior managers under you, right? They're getting paid 35% on their teams. You're going to get paid the difference between whatever your people are at and what you're at. So if you have senior managers that are going for team leader, they might have 30, 40,000 in volume in a month. And you're going to get paid 10% on that entire organization. That's massive. I have not seen a single comp plan out there that breaks things down that way. This is why we're seeing people when they jump from senior manager to team leader, they're seeing a 5 to 7, if not more times, 5 to 7, if not more times paycheck, massive paycheck jumps at team leader. You're getting paid on the difference between your managers. If you have manager groups that are going for senior manager, you're going to get paid the difference between what they're getting paid and what you're getting paid, which is 25 to 45%. You're getting paid 20% on that jump. It's massive. And then you're still building with the new people, right? You're not sitting back and just managing and not building yourself. You're bringing in planners, you're bringing in your own people, and you're getting paid the difference between the 10% that they're getting paid and the 45% that you're getting paid. Again, 35% on their organizations as you help support them, as you help build them. This is a massive, massive comp plan. And then that's not even including the 3-generation check match that you get on the team leaders that you promote out. And that's really where the focus is I want to help those team leaders make more money. The more money they make, the more money I can make. And it's really about that whole what goes around comes around, right? It's get to manager, get to get to senior manager, get to team leader, and help my people get to team leader and build their paychecks too. That's what I want to do. That's what Jen wants to do. I know that's what Dr. Marlisa, Dr. Stephanie, that's what we want to do is we want to really build these teams and help you guys make more money because that's going to help everyone make more money, right? The water rises all ships. And so that's something that we definitely want to focus on. And briefly, I'm not going to go through this here, but guys, just know this comp plan gets even better as it gets higher than that. You have director where you're getting 2% revenue share, 2 points for revenue share for the entire company. The entire company. That's not just your organization. As you build, that's going to be the entire volume, and actually it's the entirety of North America. And that's massive because there's not a lot of these big leaders here yet. You guys have the potential here to be the first people to get to these levels. And truly, if you look at the way to get here, it's as simple as getting to manager and helping your team do the same. That's as simple as this is. And as you can see, it builds from there. It gets to 3%, 4%. These are massive, 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 massive numbers. And if you know, if you focus on anything, guys, the one thing I would say is get to manager as soon as possible. It releases your 25% paid as commissions going forward for life, regardless of what you do after that. Get there as soon as possible. Help your team do the same if you don't have a team yet. If you're just focused on customers, even that 25% is massive. Then get to senior manager, right? Get to senior manager as fast as possible and help your team do the same. And you're going to get to those team leader levels. And if you get to the team leader levels and you help people do the same thing, again, it's all about that duplication process here. This comp plan rewards higher than almost any comp plan I've ever seen out there. And with the products that we have backing it, I have never, ever seen products that have such a high retention rate in this industry ever. I'm someone who said I would never sell these products ever. And if I didn't get these products on my face, I would not be here today. And I am so thankful that my friend pushed me to get these products on my face because it has massively changed my life and the opportunity that we have here to really blow this up as the first people, as the first movers advantage. It is so massive. If you guys could see what's coming, Riman has a 100-year plan, a 100-year plan. Have you heard of someone, of a company that does that? This company is moving and they're listening to us. Yes, things are not perfect all the times. One thing about being first movers, there are tweaks and things here. There are website issues sometime, right? There are comp plan changes, things that can happen at certain points. But guess what? I would take that any day to be a part of a massive movement like this. I did want to show this leadership match bonus. We're not going to really go into it, but just so you understand, one thing that you do know, let's say you only ever get to team leader, but you have people who get to director, senior director, and national director under you, you will still get a paycheck match on them. And that was something that I did not know in the beginning, and I really studied into that. If you have people move faster than you as a team leader, it does not matter. You're still getting that paycheck match. And it's up to 6 generations deep if you get to national director. But even as a team leader, let's say your 3rd generation here becomes a national director and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, you're getting a percentage of that, which is massive. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to my good friend, Jen. And I hope you guys, if anything, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. But if anything you got today, what are we going to do? We're going to get to manager, right? If you're not a manager yet, if you're not a senior manager yet, we're going to get to senior manager. And then we're going to help our team do the same exact thing.